Whether you're looking to create a personal budget spreadsheet or just get a better grasp on money management, let's start with these easy 5 steps. Creating a budget with a template or on paper can help you feel more in control of your finances and let you save money for your goals. You can track your spending on the free apps available from Google or Apple Store. Do it directly on your budget spreadsheet in Excel or Google Sheet, or if you like old school, on a piece of paper. So, first have paper, pen, and calculator ready. You don't need to buy a new one, as most smartphones have a basic calculator. Secondly, make sure you print out every single record from the last 3 months, including all credit card statements, checking accounts. Print everything that has any record of your money that come in or went out. Next, you need to list all your incomes, and the final step, list all your expenses. Before I take you to step 1 of the video, allow me to advise actively rationing your income before spending them. Because once money is used, it's gone forever. I use the 70-20-10 rule. On the income I get, I normally ration 70% to address all my expenses. Depending where you live, your expenses may vary between 50 to 70%. Mine is a bit high as I live in Auckland, New Zealand. It has a very costly housing sector. My rent alone make up 45% of my fixed expenses. Then I save 20% on each paycheck and I don't touch the savings until I reach my goals. I'll be making more videos on how to save money on a low income. Trust me, it can be done. Finally, I set aside a balance of 10% for splurge. Splurge is more expensive, but thankfully not a recurring expenses. It's more of a once every 5 years type of expense, such as going overseas, buying a new car, or saving for that diamond bracelet that I've had my eye on. You can always tweak the ratio to suit your current situation. The first step in creating a budget is to detail your income. Identify the amount of money you have coming in. Keep in mind, however, that it's easy to overestimate what you can afford if you think of your total salary as what you have to spend. Remember to subtract your deduction for Social Security, taxes, 401k, and other compulsory allocations. Your final take home pay is called net income, and that is the number you should use when creating a budget. There are a bunch of different ways you can get money. Wages and salary. This is income you earn from a job where you're paid an hourly rate or annual salary, which can be paid either weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Next is self employment. Here, the hours are your own, and the more hours or skills you put in, the more dollars you can earn. Next is commission. This is common in sales role. You might earn a set amount of money for each sale you make, or you might earn a percentage of sale price for your work. Commission is based on results rather than time worked. Social benefit. Depending on your situation, you may be eligible for assistance payment from the government. Government subsidy. Due to the pandemic COVID-19, some countries provide resurgence payment or subsidy to help you out. This is not a definitive list. There are other incomes such as your investment or interest or selling on Etsy. The important part is to write down all your income. Pay yourself first basically means that before you plan how to spend your money on entertainment, giving to parents, and other goals, allocate an amount for yourself into your own savings. I normally advise on allocating between 10 to 20% of your income. Regular, consistent savings contribution go a long way towards building a long-term nest egg. Next, step 3. Begin by listing all your fixed expenses. These expenses does not change from period to period, and it's unlikely you'll be able to cut back on these. But knowing how much your monthly income they take up can be helpful. Some fixed expense amount may vary slightly, which may be the case with utilities, but you know they are due on a regular basis. Calculate each expenses and sort them out by due date. Here is a list of categories to include in your fixed expenses. Rent. If you're not renting, you're probably paying mortgage. And if you're paying mortgage, there are property taxes to take into account. And if you're on condominium or apartment, there are strata fees and condominium fees. Then we have car or bike loan repayments. You have utility bills. This may vary, but you still get it on a regular basis. These are cable, cell, electricity, water, and gas. Next, you have debt repayments and credit cards. And finally, insurance. This can be on your vehicle, loan, home, or health insurance. By taking your net income and subtracting all your fixed expenses, you will have an amount for your variable expenses. These expenses are within your control. You can decide how much and if you will spend on these items. Sometimes expenses will fit into more than one category, and if that happens, you can choose where you feel the cost belongs in your budget. Step 5. Determine how much to budget in each category. Hopefully, you have printed out your last 3 months' worth of bank statements. Go through every single transactions and label it with the budget category it falls into. Then add up the total of each category and divide it by 3 to get the average spent. Example: $2,475 was spent on groceries alone last 3 months. You need to divide this by 3 to get $825 per month spent on groceries. You need to do this for each variables and you will get to know how much they have cost you. These are just examples of variable expenses that you may incur in this lifetime. The main one being grocery, food and beverage, clothing, toiletries, petrol and gas for private transport to and from work, and those opting public transport will have train or bus fare or Uber. Next, we also have entertainment and expenses for those who are fitness and health conscious. And finally, families with kids need to factor in school and material fees, sports club, and other association fees. If you are struggling to make ends meet or spending more than you make every month, look at the categories you feel are the least essential and where your spending is the least controlled. Here, you need to determine where you need to cut back. Typically, you'll be able to make big cuts in your restaurant, entertainment, personal spending, grocery, and miscellaneous categories. Try cutting back at least 10% in each one and setting that as your new budget. Don't be afraid to cut back more if you know you're spending way too much. I am not worried too much when income equals expenses. Do you know why? Because I have already allocated 20% into my savings before paying my expenses. But again, don't be afraid to experiment with cutting back some expenses that you feel less essential. This essentially is where we want to be after budgeting. The best scenario to land in, where your income is more than your expenses. Here, you can decide whether you want to pay off a debt, start a side business, add to your emergency fund, invest it, or reward yourself. Then again, you can also do rolling leftover budget, means that you roll leftover budget money into the following month, and that's a great option that will help ease your financial life. Plus, if you continue to stay under budget month after month, your leftover money will act as financial buffer for any unexpected budgeting mishaps. If this seems like a lot at first, you aren't alone. Budgeting takes some financial discipline, a little practice to figure it out, and it can be hard work. Try this 5 step by step guide and drop a comment if it worked for you. I wish you good luck, stay budgeting, and have a blessed life.